Khomeini effect was on all of the Middle East. Exact when Abdel Nasser distributed the nationalism, so Khomeini distributed the Islamism. So Khomeini is Shi'i, but he Ahmed, what do you call إخوان المسلمين? Muslims brothers couple.
Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood.
Muslim Brotherhood became active because of Khomeini, and they consider Khomeini in the same level of Lenin to the communist at
And
that time.
The Muslim Brotherhood that we hear of nowadays is the Sunni. The Sunni.
Okay, and this is the strange thing, because all of the Muslim Brotherhood in the Sunni countries considered Khomeini as their prophet, who was Shi'i, because one Islamist got the power, and that was a dream for the Islamists.
It has never happened.
Never happened, because the world identified only the Arab nationalist, not the Islamist, and they allowed Hafez Assad to kill the Muslim Brotherhood in Homs, allowed Saddam to kill Ad-Da'wa party, which is the Shi'i branch of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Who allowed? The European countries and the West?
The West.
Okay.
And they allowed Abdel Nasser killed all of the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood in Iraq.
And the only successful one?
In Egypt, sorry.
Yeah. And the only successful one was
the first success for the Islamists in the politic was Khomeini in Iran.
And the fear, what was the biggest fear of Saddam for Khomeini taking power? It was the majority Shia population in Iraq?
Yeah, we are 65% of the Shi'i, of the Iraqi people are Shia.
So he had a lot of power.
Yeah, he was influential. You cannot imagine the people in Tunisia and Algeria affected by Khomeini. How can you imagine people of Iraq who were Shi'i, while the people in Tunisia and Algeria are Sunni, very Sunni, Maliki, little bit more difficult. How can you imagine Shi'i people beside Iran? We have only borders, little borders between us. We are the same sect. It was very easy for the Iraqi people to follow Khomeini if Saddam was not there. Can you imagine?
And so how does the Iran war start? But who takes the first blow?
Absolutely Iraq.
Okay.
Absolutely Saddam. Absolutely Saddam. Because the Western world wanted Saudi to start, and the King Khalid refused. They wanted Turkey to start, and they refused. And
so what was the motivation? Like, why Iran? Was it the oil? Was it like
it was this power?
In fact, the king of Iran, Shahin Shah, was the best alliance to the Western world, to United States at that time. And the revolution destroyed one of the best alliance to the Western world. And many, they were the fifth army in the world, and all of their weapons were American. And they were using the king of Iran, Shahin Shah, to press on the rich Arab oil countries to take more money. The fall, and he started, Khomeini, when he entered Iran, started to do many things. First, he threw out closed the Israeli embassy in Iran. He took hostages all of the people in the American embassy. He took them as a hostages in the time of Carter, and the crisis of hostages was a very big crisis at that time, if you want to read about that. He said all of the world are enemies, all of the world are kafir, the Western world and the ex-Soviet Union, all of them are kafir. He started, he was talking in his ideology. The first one before Osama bin Laden, before everyone appears. So Khomeini got the power, and he opened the door for the dreams of the Islamists to get the power. And they didn't get it only after the Arabic Spring.
And the Iran war takes from 81?
80.
80 up
80.
until 88.
Yeah.
80 to 88.
Okay.
Right, so I'm still a little bit confused. So why did Iraq start this? Was it like because the influence that
Okay.
US had in Iran?
Yeah, I can tell you, it is Iraqi causes and it is global causes.
Okay.
The Iraqi causes, Saddam found himself that he's invaded ideologically by Khomeini. And because those people are very effective, the leaders of Al-Da'wa, the grounded of Al-Da'wa, a man called Al-Sadr,
It's the Shia party in Iraq.
he was very effective. And Saddam's security was strong. He got letters from Khomeini to that man. Prepare yourself to be the governor of Iraq. And this is the big wrong, the big mistake that Saddam did, because Azerbaijan lived the same threatening from Iran. Azerbaijan is a Shia country also, and they are neighbor to Iran also. But if he could strengthen the security and the army and a very good system locally in Iraq, not starting the war, he could change something. But after 25 years now, I can say he had the right to start the war. Yes, because when the things Khomeini couldn't succeed to occupy Iraq, but his, what do you call it? Successor succeeded to occupy Iraq totally.
To this day.
Totally in this day.
After the US left Iraq.
And by their effect on the Shia of Iraq.
So Saddam kind of saw into the future.
In fact, he what do you call it? Delayed the occupation of Iran to Iraq 25 years. Or you can say 23 years. Because everything happened after the fall of Saddam. And now Iran, they are selecting our vice president. They are shitting in the democracy. You select someone, but Iran who decide to select. You elect someone, but Iran who decide to select your government.
They control the whole government in Iraq, basically.
I will tell you the last thing in the last month. They selected a vice president, then the current one, a Sudani. After they selected him, after 1 month, he started to visit many countries. But when he visited Iran, he took $4 billion from our oil as a present, a gift to Khomeini, the one who selected him as a vice president.
This was an official gift.
Official gift. Yeah, we are compensating you for everything the previous one, the former one did.
So the Iran war starts. How were you ever called up to the army?
No, I was a student in the university.
Okay.
And I did my RTA. What do you call it? RTA, residency. And when I was resident doctor RTA, okay, 1988, 08. It was a strange date.
Okay.
The war ended.
Okay.
And I was in my RTA.
Residency.
residency. And I became a soldier 3 months after.
So you just waited until
But in the university at the third class, they forced us to go to the what is called Folk Army. 3 months in the summer. Instead of summer work, we were going to training. Yeah, but it was training of weapon. We were not in the front. Just 3 months in between the third class and the fourth class.
And then you were placed in the reserves, like the backup army.
Yeah. When I went to the military chance, there was peace, and I saw the front after the war.
Okay.
I was soldier in Al Fao, a city which took more than 250,000 lives from both sides. It is an Iraq city occupied of Iran 1986, and we got it back 1988.
Okay.
How was the talk amongst Iraqis and maybe amongst your colleagues when news about the UN accusing Iraq for using like chemical weapons and attacking civilians? Like, how did that affect your or like people's attitude towards Saddam?
At that time, we didn't know anything about the chemical attack of the Kurd people. And when I went to the army, I found in the structure of every military unit, there is a small unit which is called chemical unit. And this chemical unit, I was a part of it to give the instruction how to prevent the chemical injuries.
Yeah.
And there was so many masks, so many utrustning, what do you call it?
Equipment or like protective layers or
Yeah, many things and many medicine and many, we have that. We trained about that. And there was a chemical unit and there was chemical officer in every small unit, military unit in the Iraqi forces. And we got our chemical weapon from Germany. And I can say during the war, we got weapon from all over the world.
This is
all
during
of the
Iran war.
During Iran war. And Iran got the weapons from Al-Qaddafi, Soviet
Union.
how he was alliance with Soviet Union, so he sent this rocket. What do you call it? The rocket, the long distance rocket,
missiles.
missiles. Yeah, from Al-Qaddafi. I was a student when our student boosted student accommodation got a missiles, but it was weekend. And the missiles came to my room exactly and killed so many families who were selling food to the student in front of the accommodation. So the missiles attacked Baghdad were a gift from Al-Qaddafi for only one cause. He was hating Saddam and Saddam was hating him, because both of them consider themselves as a leader of Arab. So the same thing for Abdel Nasser with Abdul Karim, and the same thing with Al-Assad against Saddam and Saddam against Al-Assad. So like this. So the persons played a very bad rules. The personal hatred, can man say, played a very important bad role in the history of the Arab.
How many people lost their lives in the Iran war? Do you have an estimate?
Almost 1 million.
Wow. 1 million from both sides?
I think 1 million from Iran and 500,000 from Iraq.
At the time, he attacked the Kurds as well. During the Iran war, he attacked the
Kurds. Because they were alliance with Iran.
Okay.
They opened the border to Iran,
Mm-hmm.
and they opened Suleymaniye to Iran, Halabja, the biggest handle, so what do you call it? Event.
One of the biggest catastrophes.
Yeah,
in,
catastrophe. But
Iraq input
they opened the borders,
Mhm.
and they occupied. The Iranians started to occupy the Iraqi cities, and the first city they occupied was Halabja,
Mhm.
because the Kurds during the war were with Iran.
And we went visited Halabja when I lived in Iraq.
Yes.
It was a massacre because of chemical weapons. That
Exactly.
And I don't know how many people lost their lives, up to 100,000.
Not
Jesus.
100,000, because they were not 100,000,
Okay,
but
sorry.
10,000 you can say.
Mm.
But the Iranians escaped, and the attack came to the Kurds.
Mm. And how was the? So I know eventually he intensified the attacks against Shia and the mass graves of Shia, but did it start even during the Iran war, or was that?
No. After the war, 1988,
Mhm.
there was a dream that the war would come to the end.
Like people dreamed
It
of.
was like a joke. Many jokes against at that time. Many jokes at the war between Iraq and Iran will come to the end, because one dementia, more than 85 years, sitting
Khomeini
in
or-
Iran, and he wanted to pray in the holy cities of Shia Iraq.
That was his message. That was one of the.
I want to pray in that city, in Karbala,
It's a holy city for Shia.
holy city for Shia.
Okay.
And for that slogan, what do you call it? Slogan. He lifted that slogan. He sent the people just with keys to the Paradiset. They were coming by motorcycle or moped or cycle, or just jumping without weapon, just to the Paradise. He was very influential on the Irani people. So he was saying that he wanted to pray in the holy city Karbala, and he refused the decision of the what do you call it, Community of Peace in the United Nations Council.
Unity Council, yeah.
Yeah, he refused the decision to stop the fire. What?
Security Council?
Security Council.
Yeah.
Okay. And where the Security Council decided after 7 years of war, after all of the world sold all of the weapon to both sides. So he accepted Khomeini, and he said it was I swallowed the poison when I accepted the peace, like that.
And so one of the main reasons that the war kept going on for so long was the support from the Gulf countries, who was using Iraq as a shield, approximately.
Exact.
Was the wall against the Iran.
I get absolute, because Iran Sunni, and the oil countries are Iran Shia and the oil countries are Sunni, and they can swallow them. It's so easy if Saddam was not there.
So they saw him as a threat, and Saddam as the wall against the threat.
Yes, and they lost their wall when they allowed the American to attack Iraq from the Arab world.
And they were supporting Iraq with loans and money during the war.
Yes. Saudi were very, very generous, and they built new pipes for us to export our oil, because the Arab Gulf was filled of war. So our oils were exported through Saudi Arabia to the Red Sea, and through Al-Aqaba, through Jordan. Because before we had to Syrian, but because of the conflict between Saddam and Hafez Assad, we didn't export the oil through Syria.
1, 2